Welcome to Ode to Games. My name's Logan Plant, joined today by Zach Ross. How's it going, Zach?
Going pretty good.
And Kevin Valine. What's up, Kev?
Nothing much. Missed you guys. We've been off for a week.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
we
took a
were
week off,
traveling. Kevin
played
and
a
I were
lot of video
traveling,
games.
and
Yeah.
Zach beat about 200 games.
Yeah, we'll hear about those a little later.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, we've got a lot to talk about this week. A couple of big showcases from Nintendo. They showed off a bunch of indie games last week, but this week, Pokemon held their own presentation. It was the Pokemon Presents, where they showed off more of Pokemon Legends Arceus, as well as Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. So, let's jump right into that presentation. They started it off with Pokemon Go,
All
Pokemon
the
Cafe
stuff.
Mix,
Yeah.
stuff that
Unite
no one
was also in there.
yeah, stuff that I don't want to say no one cares about, but stuff that we don't particularly care about with all those. So why don't we just jump straight ahead into the meat of the main two games they showed off? We'll start with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. These are the Gen 4 remakes coming out in November, mid-November for these two games. It's the big November game for the Switch, and I think these games look a lot better than they did some of the first time they were shown. The graphics look improved considerably. That's what jumped out to me first. Kevin, what did you notice from this
Yeah,
showcase?
both of these games, both Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, as well as Arceus, looked a lot better than they did in their first
Yeah.
showing. More so with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, I appreciated them showing off all the features, showing that the Underground is indeed back. They didn't show in the trailer that multiplayer was in there, but looking at the press
Which made
release
me
on their
think it wasn't.
website, it is very much in there. So the multiplayer aspect of the Underground is still very much a part of this game. They added in these new dungeons where you can go and catch different Pokemon and battle underground, and they said that it depends on the furniture you have in your secret base or your base down in the underground that determines what shows up, which I think is really cool. So you can like change up your underground and
Okay, jog my memory.
yeah.
Yep.
Couldn't you put out like actual furniture in Diamond and Pearl in the Underground, like couches and beds and chairs and tables?
Can you not do that here? Did they? They didn't
There
show
was
too
none
much
of
of
it.
that.
It was just the statues.
Could you do that? I don't
I'm
remember.
pretty sure you could.
I remember being
No,
able to
I'm
do that
pretty sure you
in
can.
the Ruby and Sapphire
Yeah,
ones where
you
you
can
could have
do
the
that.
hidden base, but
And I would hope that that's still in there. They only showed the bases for like a minute, or
Yeah,
it was
all
pretty
there were,
quick.
it was just littered with statues. It's like if you had an Animal Crossing house that was just a bunch of trophies, which I mean I had in the GameCube version. But yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Showing off the underground, showing off the contest. They were switching up the contest, and now it looks like some sort of like dancing rhythm thing with some attacks, which I'm glad that they're switching it up because I always found the contest
Boring.
really boring. Who knows?
Yeah.
This could be boring as well, but I at the very least appreciate that they're trying something different instead of just being like, hey, here's the same thing. Showing off some of the customizations with the ball animations that were in the older games and like designing them with the stickers.
I forgot about that. That
Yeah.
brought back a lot of memories.
did.
Designing some of those sticker balls.
Yeah, and then your Pokemon can follow you around again.
And that Pokemon was like stalking his trainer, and like when they showed it off, it's like the one that's all like tangled up and looks like a
The
monster. It
Tangrowth,
was, like,
yeah.
It was right on the trainer's butt, which I thought was really funny.
And
No
of course,
personal space.
I love that that's back, but every time it comes back, I question why it ever leaves. That needs to be a consistent feature in every single one of these games going forward.
Yeah.
But at the very least, I'm glad that it's back. So not only do the games look better, but I appreciated that they showed off a lot more of the features of the game. Still not 100% sold on the chibi art style, but what are you going to do? And I'm still going to be buying this. The nostalgia is running rampant after watching that trailer.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
some side by sides of what it looked like when they first showed off this game and what it looks like now, and they have improved it a lot. Like just the textures and the detail, it just looks a lot better. So those are coming out November 19th with a special edition Switch Lite coming on November 5th, which actually looks exactly like the DS Lite did
That I
back when
had
these games came
that
out.
broke.
You had that one?
I had one. I still do, but the hinge broke.
You gonna get the Switch Lite?
No, I have no desire to get a Switch Lite.
Zach, where's your meter on this game after this latest video for it?
Well, before this video, I was completely sold on buying it for nostalgia's sake, and after this video, that hasn't super changed much. I think it's being very faithful where it really matters, and it's making a lot of those needed improvements, like the contests and the graphics and stuff like that. So, definitely a day one purchase for me. Going for Pearl like I did originally. So, super excited for this.
think we're the only two humans that bought Pearl.
I know.
Like everybody else I knew has
It's
Diamond.
nice that
is
we
gonna be
found
getting
each
Diamond.
other.
Yeah.
We're like a Pearl support group.
Zach, weren't you always the second version because you wanted to be different?
Yeah, well, I don't know if that was quite the reasoning, but yes, I was.
You've said that on this show before. That's
I
why
don't
I'm
know.
saying it that way.
That seems a little weird.
You've said it before. I guarantee
was-
we could go back.
I've back when I was a kid, I played them both at some point usually, but I would typically start with the lesser, like the leaf greens, the silvers, the sapphires, yeah, and the pearls, and so on and so forth.
I also forgot to mention there's character customization in this one too, which is
Oh,
really
yeah,
cool.
that's a
I
new
thought that
addition.
looked really cool.
Outfits.
It
Did.
makes the chibi art style actually look pretty endearing with some of those art styles.
Yeah.
Or with some of those outfit styles.
I will say I was worried this was going to be kind of a really cheap and easy remaster, but no, they're doing a lot to it. They're doing adding a lot of things. I do like that they're adding the Pokemon can follow you around. The underground, I was baffled that they didn't show multiplayer. I thought it was gone based on that presentation because the way it was laid out, they were like, "Oh, and you can go underground and go into all these new caves and find these new Pokemon, and also you can battle with your friends online." And this, I'm like, "What about running around the underground with my friends and like raiding the gems from their secret bases?" Like I did that all the time, like on the bus and stuff with that game. So yeah, so I'm glad that Kevin went and found that actually is still a thing. But yeah, those are coming out November 19th of this year. So that is 3 months from today. So that is coming up real quick. And then a game that's a little further out is Pokemon Legends Arceus, which they showed off for the first time since it was revealed back in February of this year. That's coming out January 28th of next year, so about 5 months away from that one. And we learned a lot more about this game. We saw that it's actually not called the Sinnoh region, which I thought was really weird. It takes place in a new region, the Hisui region.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, why isn't it just called the Sinnoh region? I thought that was weird. But anyways,
They gotta have a new one. Can't be the
It's
same.
got to be a new region. And the ancestor of Professor Rowan is in this game, which is like, if you care that much about Pokemon lore, send us an email. Like, send us an email and tell us why you care that much about Professor Rowan.
Speaking of Professor Rowan, did you guys notice that in the Diamond and Pearl trailer, they were like zooming in a lot?
Zooms
And it
were
was
wild.
like zooming, like I know that they were trying to focus on the text, but it looked like they were just zooming in on his mustache.
Yeah.
For like half of them.
Yeah, who
Anyways,
cut that trailer? That trailer was like an excited film college student cutting a trailer and being like, look at these epic zooms that I can do.
whoa, going in.
Like even like the text, it was like "Welcome to the world of Pokemon," and just zoomed so far in on the text box.
It was a
It
little
was really
weird.
funny. Yeah, but Pokemon Legends, the game actually being developed by Game Freak, the main Pokemon team, is coming next year. You join the Galaxy Expedition team, which is interesting because it's Team Galactic. It's
Yeah.
the bad team in
They're gonna
Sinnoh,
like,
so
are they gonna change?
I don't know. But you do this thing called the Survey Corps, where you go all around from the Jubilife Village, which is another Sinnoh reference, to these different biomes to catch Pokemon. They showed off a couple of new Pokemon. They showed off a new form of Growlithe as well.
Very
the
cute.
Hisuian form, which is something they've been doing
Hisuian.
since Alola, adding new forms of these Pokemon. And yeah, the game does look a lot better. It looked choppy as heck when it was first shown off, and it does look a lot nicer. I will give it that. Zach, what was your thought on the Arceus trailer?
Yeah. I do think it looked a little bit better than the first time they presented it. Still not completely sold on it. Not sure how it's gonna run, and it still feels like a bit of a mash of different styles of games that I'm not sure will work with the Pokemon genre. But overall, I think it's got some promise. Definitely a wait and see for me, but I do think that Hisuian Growlithe is very cute. See, I didn't remember that this was happening, so I woke up and I opened Twitter, and he was just everywhere. And I was like, what is this adorable little creature? Everyone is freaking out about him. Also, there was a white Stantler that caught me off guard, but I thought that one looked pretty cool too. Yeah, they only showed like 4 new, their variations or evolutions, but they're pretty solid so far, so
And they did
there's
show
gonna
off
be more of those.
They did show off 2 new ones, so it's not just like older
Yeah.
styles.
Yeah.
There are going to be, at the very least, a few new Pokemon to this region. Who knows how many they'll add in terms of. And maybe they'll go for a lot more of the forms and only have a couple of new ones. But at the very least, we know there's going to be a couple of new Pokemon in this game, which is good.
Yeah,
But
Kevin, what'd you think? Did this win you over?
it didn't win me over completely, just because Pokemon in the past have disappointed me more recently. The only reason I'm getting Pearl on launch is because I have that really nostalgic attachment to it and to that era of Pokemon. But I am a lot more optimistic than I was the first time around, because in the first one we really didn't see a whole lot. You were just going through these very open areas with the really choppy Pokemon running around, and that was about it. But now we see that there are towns that you can go to. There's the team that you can join. There's a reason you're going out and catching these Pokemon for the decks. They're giving you missions that you go on to catch these Pokemon. There's costumes again, like in Diamond and Pearl. There's costumes that you can put on your character. They showed off different ways of traversal with like gliding, Breath of the Wild basically with the glider style, but like going through the oceans as well on your Pokemon. It looks good. It looks like a lot of the ideas that people have had over the years of how you would translate Pokemon into a more open world style. You don't know, like, you're optimistic that they'll make it work with the Pokemon Company trying new stuff that's very hit or miss. But at the very least, I'm more optimistic looking at this and seeing the things that are going into this game. It'll be a wait and see for me when it comes out, see how people are reacting to it and if I got time to play it. But it looks pretty decent from what they've shown off, and just in terms of actually showing the game and what you're going to do in it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I honestly, it didn't. I don't want to make a call on a game that I haven't played and that I've only seen like 2 videos for, but from what I've seen, I don't think this game is going to be very good. I think that, yeah, they're introducing a lot of ideas people have wanted from Pokemon, but what we're seeing looks so bare bones to me, and it looks like that's the whole game. And obviously, there's probably stuff they're not showing us, and there's things they are holding back, but it looks like, yeah, you just go out and you throw Pokeballs at these Pokemon and you dodge their basic attacks, and in premise that could be really cool. I mean, it sounds kind of Monster Huntery, right? That these powerful beasts are kind of rampaging and you have to dodge them because your trainer can actually faint and take damage, is something they showed. But knowing Pokemon and knowing how ridiculously easy the games have been forever, I just don't think it's going to be that engaging. And yeah, there's different biomes you go to, but apart from that, what is going to keep this game fresh after the first hour of doing this? And I don't know. And they haven't told me yet. So I don't know. I'm really kind of concerned about what the quality of this game is going to be. And honestly, we're talking about how it looks good, and it does look a lot better. But I think that our expectations for Pokemon and what it should look like is so low. Like, you compare it to the other best looking games on the platform, it's not even close. Like, compared to like what Monster Hunter Rise looks like, what Xenoblade Chronicles 2 looks like, what Breath of the Wild looks like, which is a 4-year-old Wii U game at this point, and they all look so much better than this. And I don't know. People are like, "Oh man, it looks so great." Yeah, it looks great for a Pokemon game, and in 2021, that's not saying very much because Sword and Shield looked like crap. It just did. Even if you liked that game, you have to admit graphically that game looked bad. It did not look good at all, and this game is a big step up from that, but it's not up to snuff with other games in 2021 or even other games on Switch in 2021. Like, I don't want to compare it to like a PS5 game, but like even other Switch games, it just doesn't look as good. And a game doesn't have to look good to be good, but when that's like the key thing people are taking from this, look at new Pokemon Snap. That game looks amazing. Obviously, that's a curated on rails experience, but like that's what I want a Pokemon game to look like, and this doesn't really even sniff that. And then the gameplay, I just think it's going to be really bare bones, really basic. I think that, like you said, Kev, it's introducing a lot of what people want in Pokemon, but it looks like it's stripping away a lot too. There's the one main town, and that kind of looks like that's it. Like, I think this is a concept that this is a really experiment that they're selling for $60, and maybe in 2 more games, or maybe just 1 more game, this will be a gameplay style that's a lot more well thought out. But from what I'm seeing right now, I don't know how long this is going to hold people's attention that play it, that aren't diehard Pokemon fans that love whatever they put out, or kids. Honestly, that's how I'm feeling about this one.
Now, what I'll say to that is Pokemon players will spend 1,000 hours grinding for shinies. So
Yeah.
in terms of going out and doing a similar thing, I feel like a large majority of that audience that is playing the recent Pokemon games would be fine going out and doing the same catching Pokemon and looking for some like rare Pokemon or the shinies or whatever. I feel like they get a lot out of that. Just depends on what kind of player you are, I guess. And they still have time. It comes out in January. They could have another trailer closer to launch that shows off hopefully different villages or something. But yeah.
I just wish Pokemon was willing to take a break, but it's not. It's just this money pumping machine, and that's the reality of this franchise. And it's like, man, if this game wasn't coming out till next November, like why are they pushing this out the door in January? I legitimately don't get it.
It is a little weird
don't get
with
why
Diamond and Pearl coming out 2 months before.
And it's gonna those games are gonna sell over 10 million copies. The Let's Go games and Sword and Shield are both in the top 10 best-selling Switch games. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl is almost certainly going to be in the top 15. So why are they pumping out another one 2 months later when they could actually give the series some room to breathe for the first time in like 15 years? Basically, since Diamond and Pearl, this series has been annualized. And now we're getting 2 games in the span of 2 months, and it's just, I don't know. I don't get it. And I think that it's cool that they are trying something different, but I don't think it's cool that they feel the need to just crank these games out, because it's devaluing the series to me, and I think to a lot of people. I think a lot of people feel this way. And obviously it's still going to sell millions because it's Pokemon, and there are a ton of people who will still play everyone forever no matter what, and that's why they can do this. But I'm here on this podcast to say I'm not buying either. I'm not buying either of these games on launch or probably ever. I think that I'm going to skip on them. The last time that nostalgia got me was Alpha Sapphire, which was bad. That game was a bad remake of my favorite Pokemon game. And Diamond and Pearl are my second favorites. And I don't really want to play a remake of those. I want to kind of just leave my memories of those when I was a kid untouched. And then this game, I don't want to spend $60 on what to me looks like a glorified tech demo at this point. If the reviews come out and they're just glowing of this thing, and I know some people who play it and love it, then maybe I'll change my mind on Legends. But for now, I'm done. And I've tried to be done so many times for the last decade. I have not enjoyed a Pokemon game since 2009. I went the entire 2010s without enjoying a mainline Pokemon.
That can't be true. Not a single one?
No. I didn't like Black and White. I didn't finish Black 2. X and Y are bad. The remakes disappointed me. Really hated Sun. Didn't finish that one for years. Sword is a mess. And that's it.
Hop on the Pokemon Go craze?
No, I didn't.
Me neither.
A mainline Pokemon. I enjoyed Mystery Dungeon, the remake, quite a lot. I had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, I was including those. But yeah, mainline's been nothing but disappointment since me, personally, X and Y. But
yeah, so I'm done. I am out, and I'm here to say that. And I want you guys to hold me to it.
I don't believe it.
I'm not buying either of these games.
All right.
Don't believe it. Evan and I are going to be gushing about how much we love Pearl.
I hope so.
All right.
I hope so, because this, for me, the nostalgia is this one. I did like Black and White when they came out, and I have some sort of attachment to it. But with Diamond and Pearl, and I to Platinum, I really wish more Platinum stuff was in there, but oh well. But that is kind of where the nostalgia starts to run out, is Diamond and Pearl and a little bit of Black and White. So this is like their chance, at least for me, with Diamond and Pearl. And if it doesn't, if the remake is bad, then I'm probably out as well.
Any fire Pokemon, and it's still just the
well, they've
two.
got the dungeons. They've got the dungeons below ground. They've got to have more fire types down there.
There's a fire area. What if it's just Ponyta in there?
Oh, God.
You don't know.
I would lose my mind if Ponyta was still the only fire type in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's just I've given them enough last chances. This is an unhealthy relationship between me and Pokemon at this point. I just keep crawling back. I keep giving them one more chance. And
being abused.
At some point, I got to cut it off. I got to cut it off and say no more. And I think that honestly, when I watched this showcase, and for me personally, it just did nothing for me. Like the underground stuff and the dungeons, I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but like I'm not gonna get invested in that. And I can already tell when in these Pokemon games, I feel like you one-shot everything. I feel like since the 3DS, you one-shot everything in Pokemon, and it's just not even like engaging anymore. The engaging part of it is the competitive scene and really complicated breeding and training and trading and battling, and I'm not going to do that. I want to enjoy the main story of a Pokemon game, and I don't think they're in a place to give that to me anymore. And maybe I need to go play one of the old ones and see if they're stupid easy too, because they've been ridiculously easy for the last decade. And it's like, was I just a dumb kid that didn't know how to play games? And that's why I thought they were hard.
We've all said multiple times we were very stupid playing games growing up.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I've decided to cut it off. Sword and Shield burned me. I thought that game was bad. The writing was horrendous, and it was the most linear thing I've ever played, and it was like a 15-hour game. It was just terrible, and I just don't really want to give that series my money right now. Spin-offs, sure, because they aren't made by Game Freak. Game Freak doesn't make the spin-offs.
You know who doesn't make?
You
know who's not making the Diamond and Pearl games?
Game
Game
Freak.
Freak. That's outsourced. So
That's true.
maybe it's better.
You never know. You never
Maybe.
know.
Yeah, you would
But I
think.
just watched it, and I'm just like, I think I'm done with this.
You would think that
We were gonna play the Underground together.
Well, me and Zach, we can still play together.
We'll play it.
We have enough to play together.
That's fair.
You would think that getting another studio to do one of these remakes would allow them more time to make the mainline game. It is.
Yeah.
It is a little odd that they feel the need to push it out in January. Could hold it for another 8 months or whatever, 8-9 months. Bring it out in the fall or winter of 2022. People will be fine with Diamond and Pearl for a year before the next Pokemon game comes out, but they know that it keeps printing money. That is very true.
And it's like, I think what really got to me was when I thought about how an entire decade came and went since I have liked Pokemon. Like the 2010s just passed me by, and I did not enjoy Pokemon in that entire decade. It's like, maybe I should stop throwing my money at this nostalgia trip trying to recapture what I used to have when I was a kid, because there's other games I enjoy now. It's not like there's not series I have found that I love. Like it's okay to move on from a series that I liked when I was a kid. And if you're still playing Pokemon, if you're excited for these remakes, then I'm happy for you. Like, I'm not saying people shouldn't buy these or shouldn't
If you're
be excited.
stupid enough to like Pokemon, then good for you.
That's not what I said.
Yeah.
That is what Zach Ross said. But yeah. I mean, Kevin, I kind of envy Kevin, who was smart enough to just totally pass on Sword and Shield and did not have to experience that.
I saw those. I'm like, nope. I'm waiting for Diamond and Pearl.
You're not burned.
Yeah.
You're not burned like I am. I did skip Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Those I don't think any of us
didn't
have
play them, no.
touched one of those.
No.
Yeah.
I got enough
I
of a
skipped
Alola.
the Hoenn remakes.
Yeah,
I
played
kind of
them.
wish I
I
skipped the
was
Hoenn remakes.
so excited for those. I was so
I burned
excited.
out on remakes.
They were just really bad. Really bad. So, yeah, I'm excited to hear what you guys think of the Diamond and Pearl remakes this fall. I'll be playing Monkey Ball, which is another remake that might severely disappoint me.
Oof. I don't know if that's going to
Yeah,
be any
we'll
better
find
or
out.
not.
We'll find out.
Speaking of that,
There's a
Kitty is
lot
going to
this
be in
fall.
there.
Yep. Kiryu from Yakuza is the
So I
latest
got to buy it
character,
now,
and
unfortunately.
It's a Yakuza game.
I am dreading this game's release. Like, I'm not losing sleep over it, but when I think about it, I get a little nervous. I'm like, this better be good, because if not, and you spent your time cramming in these Sega crossovers instead of nailing what this game should feel like, I'll be pretty upset about it. But we'll find out.
Look forward to this show come October, November, because we're going to be talking Monkey Ball. We're going to be talking about Diamond and Pearl, and it could be a mess.
Judgment.
Judgment. There's a
This
lot
would
of
be
good
good.
and a lot of possible bad in there.
Yeah.
A lot of
A
stuff.
lot of
going
good.
on there.
WarioWare looks great. Metroid looks great. Halo could be a mess. That could be
Or not
who
even be
knows?
out this year.
Halo might not even be coming out this year. Who
Yeah,
knows?
We are rapidly approaching the end of the year, and we still don't know when that game's coming out. Yeah. But did you see that when you play as Kiryu in Monkey Ball, they changed the bananas to like the Stamina X or whatever it's called?
Oh, I didn't see that. I just saw
Yeah.
that picture.
Yeah,
That's great.
little
Yeah.
drinks.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, Kiryu's coming. Sonic and Tails are both in it. I don't think we've talked since that happened.
We
since
didn't.
that became official.
No, I feel like that. Yeah, that was like right after.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sonic and Tails are both there, and it's like, so you're giving me all
that's that
these cool
radio guy.
Sega characters for free, but I have to pay $5 to play as what I looked like in the original that you are remaking?
Yeah, yeah, we talked about
That's
it just a
garbage.
bit
It's
before
what
the
you
show,
want.
but it's like, yeah, why are those paid? And then it's like, oh yeah, because people will buy them.
It
Whereas
should be
like,
the other way around. Like, don't you think more people would be like, oh, I want to play as Sonic? Like, the only people they are harming is longtime Monkey Ball fans. They're stabbing us in the back by making us pay extra for this. And if, like, you're a
Play as
Sonic
new
fan or a
II.
Yakuza fan,
It's
that's how
not
built it.
difficult. Just play as the
What?
new II. It's not difficult. You
No.
don't need to play as old II.
He's ugly.
Does nothing for you.
He's
You
ugly.
don't even have to look at him. He's turned the other direction.
I don't want to look at his butt. His butt is uglier than his old butt.
Right. I didn't know that.
what
I
a true
apologize.
Monkey Ball fan would say.
Yeah, it is. I miss the old butt. And
I'm gonna be
yeah.
playing as Kiryu, so it doesn't even matter.
Oh my god, not when you're playing with me or not.
What?
You're gonna be a monkey and you're gonna like it.
What?
If I'm playing it, I'm gonna
You're
be
forcing
Kiryu.
me to be a monkey.
Sure.
No, I'm not.
Yakuza fan.
I'm not
Did you
forced
decide
to
what
do
you're getting with
anything.
that? Are you getting the physical edition and getting the?
I haven't decided. I'm really upset
DLC?
with them right now for their how they're charging me. Like,
It's
what
ridiculous.
is that? They're
It's
seriously
Sega,
preying on the longtime
though.
fans.
Like, they've been doing weird stuff surrounding launches of games for a while. Whether it be that,
Yeah.
whether it be the digital version, like Lost Judgment's coming out. If you get the digital version, you get to play it like 3 days before the physical version. They've been doing that for a little while. They've been doing that since the original Judgment came out. I haven't been a
Dear
fan of
Monkey
that.
Ball fans, we've got great news for you. This Monkey Ball game's gonna have the most characters we've ever had before. If you like Sonic, if you like, God, Jet Set Radio, like if you like Yakuza,
Have a name?
we've got you covered. If you're a classic Monkey Ball fan, though, screw you. You got to pay us extra to play as your
Also,
favorite.
the consoles are extra too.
The consoles are also.
Why?
I don't know,
How are those not in the?
but yeah, that's
game.
coming up too. Yeah, that could be fiery. That could be a fiery episode after that comes out. So look forward to that early October coming your way on Ode to Games. All right, let's move on to another showcase that happened this week. Over the last 2 weeks, Nintendo had their latest Indie World event. They showed off 19 games in this presentation. A couple of highlights. Axiom Verge 2 dropped right after the presentation. So did Boyfriend Dungeon, which has had a lot of talk on the internet since it launched for some controversial reasons. Garden Story, another Zelda-like, is out now. They showed off Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon, which is the next in that series, coming later this year. Loop Hero, which was super popular on PC earlier this year, is coming to Switch this holiday. And a number of other things also shown off and talked about. So let's go through this pretty quickly. Kevin, anything that caught your eye you want to spotlight real quick from this Indie World event?
Well, Garden Story did look really good. Reading more about it, there was just like certain things about it that sounded good for me, like how you could stop doing the main story and just like help these towns rebuild. I'm like, oh my god, like I love that. some
That is like
inane
that's
thing.
how you
I'm
hook
like,
Kevin in.
yeah,
Town building.
or rebuilding something. Like, yes, I Garden Story looks really good. Metal Slug Tactics, I just think the art style looks really nice on that one. Looks really crisp,
really, cool.
really clean. I think those are probably my main ones. Eastward also looks nice.
Dude, that's my highlight.
Yeah.
Eastward is my highlight. It's like this actiony game that looks a lot like Earthbound, just from an art perspective, and like even the text boxes look like they do in Mother 3. But you play in these like dungeons, and it's kind of like a top-down shooter, not like a shmup, but just kind of like an action game where it's a gun instead of a sword is like the best way to describe it. And you go through dungeons, and the music in the trailer is excellent. Really cool atmosphere, my kind of vibes, very Earthboundy to me, that kind of like esoteric, weird, dystopian, but kind of in the present day. It looks super cool. It's coming out September 16th. So add another game to my crazy list of fall games that I'm excited to play. But it's okay, because Pokemon just fell off the list, so I had a vacancy, apparently. But yeah, Eastward was by far my highlight. It's what they closed out the with. And then Loop Hero, I was interested in that. It's the game where there's this RPG hero going around this map, and you kind of build out the map to make sure he survives, but also making sure he levels up a lot and gets stronger. And that sounded really intriguing to me as well. And then Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon just inspired me to go and play Shovel Knight Treasure Trove, which I still have not finished. I want to play all the Shovel Knight campaigns because what I've played is really, really great. Zach?
Nothing crazy stood out to me for the Indie Direct. I watched it live, but I've been a big fan of Slug Tactics ever since it got announced, and I've been keeping my eye on that. For some reason, I just like the way it looks a lot, and I really want to play it.
The sprites look great.
But the sprites and animations look fantastic, and just the way it's set up. And I've never played a Metal Slug game before, so it looks like a pretty nice entry into the franchise. So definitely excited for that. And then Loop Hero a little bit, and Eastward definitely looks interesting. Keeping my eye on it, and I know why Kevin would like Garden Story. That seems like a Kevin type of game.
Yeah,
it is.
Once that gets mentioned, I'm in.
Anything with a story.
What about Islanders Console Edition, which is exclusively about building towns?
Islanders. Gonna be honest, I only watched like half of this because I was out and didn't have the time.
Yeah. It's like this geometric, relaxing, chill town building game. Didn't look like much else besides just like building towns.
I'll have to take a look.
Yeah.
Next week.
That could be a Kevin game.
Could be.
I think that one actually did look kind of cool because it was like that's the one where there was like these weird like island shaped structures and you could just like build on the side of the island's geometric shape and like scaffold up and stuff like that. Was that one?
Yeah.
That one looked actually kind of cool.
It could be a Kevin game.
Could be.
Could be a Kevin game.
Take a look after the show.
I thought of you when I saw it. So.
Oh, thanks.
I don't know how far you could take those small little islands, but yeah.
I'm always thinking of you, Kevin.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Kevin would really like that game.
Yeah, and what games you'd like.
Yeah.
And Zach, for when I see Amiibo go back in stock that he's always talking about. Did you get that one today? Did you get the bird?
Didn't.
Is already out of stock.
Decided against it.
What?
It's because you always do that when something's available, and then you want what you can't have.
I want it only
Zach,
when I
what
can't
is your
have it. And
problem?
then when it's available, I'm like, I don't want it. Because I don't know what I want until I have the option of actually having it.
My God. Zach, you are a
I
mess.
have a problem.
Oh, that's rude. All right, let's
when it comes to buying these consoles and things, can't make up his mind.
Can't. Because I don't know what I want.
The
figure it
Xbox
out,
seems
Zach.
to be working out though.
Series S was a great decision.
Like 6 Xbox games this week. So
Yes, I do not regret buying the
2 decades
Series
of
S.
Xbox.
and something that I have never once associated with Xbox in my life, but we'll get to that.
A bit.
Zach, do you want to buy this? The GTA Remastered trilogy is rumored to include GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. It's rumored for all platforms. That includes Switch, and it could be coming out later this year.
I mean, that is the holy trinity of GTA games that I think everyone grew up with. Those were, I think, my favorites growing up by far. Before GTA 4 stormed on the PS3. This was the big PS2 era, which is when I was huge into the GTA, probably the biggest time I was into the GTA franchise, and San Andreas being my favorite of them all. I guess it's just how far they take this remaster. Like, those games haven't aged super well, so depending on how far they take it, I might try it out. I don't play GTA very often. Most people only play it for the multiplayer nowadays, which I get. The multiplayer is very fun. So this was one of those nostalgia things people will be going back to play, because I doubt there will be a pretty heavy multiplayer scene for these remasters, but definitely something to keep your eye on depending on how much effort they put into it. Could be good. People's favorites.
Kevin, what's this do for you?
I think I'm in the same boat as Zach. I'm waiting to see if this is just like a little bit up-resed and looks a little bit better, or if it, if like certain systems are kind of like upgraded and improved, and it does look a lot better than it did back in the day. Well, yeah, you compare it to GTA 5, which has been ported to everything.
That's true, but that game's also
really
like 9 years old at this point.
But specifically Vice City, I've always wanted to play. That setting of like 80s Miami always looked really cool to me, with the neon and the really great soundtrack. I've listened to the Vice City soundtrack before, and they've got some bangers in there of those classic 80s tracks. And then San Andreas a little bit less so, but I've heard about that game for years and have wanted to play it, off and on for a little while. So keep an eye on it. And we haven't, this is a rumor, a pretty corroborated rumor, so odds are it is true, but that means that we haven't seen anything about how the games actually look. So
Yeah.
maybe when they do decide to drop a trailer, which if the rumor is true, would have to be pretty soon because it's rumored to be coming out in the fall. Then maybe I'll be able to make a better decision, seeing how much work they've done for these 3 games. But
Hey, there's apparently going to be a Nintendo Direct in September, and if this thing is coming, maybe we see it there. And also, I did see part of the rumors that it could have partially old remastered and partially new modern graphics. And I wonder if this thing is on Switch, if it's going to be the cloud version or a real version. Because, yeah, if it really is pushing modern graphics, then I think it probably could be a cloud version. I did see some people saying, "Oh, if it's coming to Switch, then it's going to look bad." But that's not necessarily true because we don't really learn about the cloud version through leaks. It's like, "Oh, this is coming to Switch," and that made people think we were getting a Switch Pro. And it's like, no, these games like Plague Tale and things like that are actually just the cloud version. So
yeah,
the fact that the rumor includes Switch doesn't really mean anything yet. But yeah, there's no GTA on Switch.
you got to go back to the
No Rockstar
DS.
on Switch.
Chinatown.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chinatown on DS. Yeah.
Yeah,
Go back
that's
to a
true.
Nintendo GTA. But yeah, I feel like that'd be a pretty big deal, getting GTA games on Switch, because they're just massively popular.
Yeah.
There's a decent chunk of audience there that probably doesn't have another console that want to play GTA in some form.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are the big news stories from the last couple weeks that we've been off. So why don't we move into what we've been playing?
All right, I have been dreading this segment, but we will be moving on to what we've been playing
Oh,
a
this
lot
isn't your
over the
segment.
last.
Hey, we're doing an Ode 2 that I've pitched for years today. I
Go ahead.
updated the doc. We're doing the best
no.
Ode 2 ever today.
I
So
think
Zach,
I
you
know where
gotta
this is
stop
going.
talking for a little bit. Me and Logan have some
shut
things
up
to
right
say
now.
before we get into that. Great Ace Attorney. Logan, you finished the first game. I am on the start of the third case. I'm enjoying it. The second case is all like investigations and talking to people as compared to in some sort of courtroom, which did make it drag. And then it was the same thing from the first case where like you thought it was over and then they kind of kept pulling stuff.
It just keeps going.
Where you're like, all right, this all makes sense. They're like, no, here's another small detail that you need to know to get the entire picture of what happened here. I still had fun doing it. I still had a good time playing through the case, but like the first one, at the very end, it did kind of overstay its welcome a little bit.
Yep, agreed. Do you like my treasure, Herlock Sholmes?
Yeah, he's pretty endearing.
He literally makes me laugh out loud all the time. And I don't like laugh out loud very much, but just the way he's written just cracks me up. I think he is so ridiculously funny.
He is pretty well written. I also appreciate that like you'll go into rooms sometimes and he'll just be like hanging out like on a wall or like on a desk or just somewhere and you're like, oh, hey, what's up, man? And then you talk to him. And
Yeah.
it's just weird.
There's that point in the second case where Ryunosuke is like, I gotta talk to one person to help me get out of this mess. And you see like 3 people on your screen and you talk to all of them and it's like it doesn't hand the camera over and he's hanging.
Yeah,
like,
he's hanging on the wall.
What is he doing?
Yeah, he's great.
I love that.
Yeah. He's likable in a very weird way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do appreciate how you have those moments where, you know, he gives his explanation and then you have to like correct all of it. And it's a good time. And then there are points where you correct it and then he keeps going with his old line of thinking. You're like, bro, this makes absolutely no sense now.
That leads to just some hilarious writing throughout the games because there's some points where like, yeah, like you said, you and your partner will just lead the logic down a completely different line and then he will just twist it in a way to get exactly back to what he was talking. And then there's even a point like where the characters are like, man, that was pretty creative how he brought it back to his original line of logic.
Like, how did that make what?
Yeah. It's hilarious.
Looking forward to that. Those are some good moments. What are your thoughts?
So have you started the third case yet?
Just a bit. Like I haven't gotten to the actual case itself, but we've gotten to the area where it's set. Not a whole lot of time. But you finished the first game and you're on to the second one. I did. What are your thoughts as a seasoned vet of these games?
Yeah, so the first game honestly disappointed me a little bit. I think that it is the worst Ace Attorney game. I think that there's maybe only one that it's better than. But yeah, it's definitely bottom 2 out of the 9 that I have completed now to this point. And yeah, there's a lot of reasons for that. I've talked about some of it last week or a couple weeks ago, and throughout the remaining cases, those complaints just stuck around. The cases drag, and they never get that complex. Like Ace Attorney cases, at their best, get so ridiculously complicated, and you don't know what's going to happen next, and they're just bonkers. And this just never really reaches that. And there's never a case in the first game where you investigate, go to court, and go back to investigate again and go to court again. There's never a case in the entire first game. It's either all in court, all investigating, or you investigate and then you go to court once and then it's over. And it leads to just these sections that just drag, and the investigation feels too long because you're doing it all at once, and then court feels too long. And usually it's just Ace Attorney is perfectly paced because by the time you're ready to be done investigating, it's time. And by the time you're ready to be done with court, it's time to go back out and investigate more. And it's just this back and forth that keeps it fresh, which is something other visual novels lack because it's the two sides of the game are so different. And so that was really tough. And it also holds the cases back from getting complex because, I mean, you know, Kev, you played the whole trilogy, and Zach, you know this too, because spoiler alert, you've been playing a ton of Ace Attorney. And
Oh God.
there are times where you're in court in one time, and then you go back out, and it's like, oh, the crime scene actually wasn't even where we thought it was. It was somewhere completely different. And that just changes the entire case because you have that second day of investigating. And that never happens here. You never have that second day, so the cases can't get that wild. And yeah, there's some other problems I have with it too. Like, I think I talked a little bit about the jury system a couple weeks ago, which is really cool. The jury system is really cool, but sometimes it's just so ridiculously far-fetched to a point where I almost can't suspend my disbelief. And that's saying a lot in a series that relies on channeling spirits from the dead to interview them about what happened. And there's sometimes the members of the randomly selected impartial jury are so personally involved with the case, and there's no way to win the case without these jurors. It's just ridiculous. It's like, oh, I was coworkers with them for 15 years, and it's like, why are you on the jury? You would never be on this jury. It's dumb. And I hate that I feel that way because usually I can totally suspend my disbelief with this series. But the jury in the first game just pushed it a little too far. And Kevin, you'll just see what I mean right away. The first time you encounter the jury, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm his son.
Yeah.
Close family
Yeah,
member.
It's
His
dumb.
wife.
But I will say that, so that's my final thoughts on the first game. And the last case is like the weakest last case in the series. It's usually when everything blows up and gets totally crazy and comes to a head and is awesome, and it just never hits that peak. But the benefit of that is that it doesn't even really, it leaves some cliffhangers, which is the first time an Ace Attorney game has ever really left cliffhangers. And it's why these games, I think, are packaged together. They're coming together because it's really one story. It's more of a part one and a part two than this series has ever done before. And The Great Ace Attorney 2, which I'm already in the fourth case of out of 5, I think is the best Ace Attorney game in the entire series, which is awesome. And I'm so happy about it because I was pretty bummed after the first. Like, it's still great. Like, all Ace Attorney games are 7 out of 10 or above. Like, they are all good games, 2 masterpieces. And that game is probably like a 7.5 out of 10. But this one I'm playing right now is so far a 10 out of 10 game. It is one of the best stories I've ever played in a game. It just goes pedal to the metal from case 1 and has not let up. Case 3 is as good as any final case in the series, and it's only the middle case. And case 3 is usually like the worst case in the game, but it is one of the best cases in the series. It is unbelievably good. I think I said last time that I feel like I've played too many of these games where I know where they're going. I don't know where this one's going. Case 3 got me with its twists like 2 or 3 times. It's so good. And it's picking up these threads from the first one, and it is just running with them. And the resolutions they're presenting are so freaking satisfying. And it's like, man, if the first game had to suffer a little bit to set up the second game, maybe that's okay, because the second game, I hate to be that like, oh, just get through the first one and then you'll be rewarded. It's really what this is. The second game it's freaking phenomenal and might be my favorite game in my favorite series, which I did not think was going to happen. So that's been awesome. It's excellent. And I always heard that. I always heard the second one is way better than the first, and boy, is it true. It is so freaking good. Yeah, everyone's got to play it. So yeah, just get through the first one. It's still a good time. And people probably aren't going to be as critical of it as me because I've played this series to death and love it to death and care about it so much. So the first one's still a good time, but the second one is, yeah, it's like becoming one of my favorite stories in all of games, which is kind of unbelievable for me to say.
Looking forward to getting through the first game then.
Yeah, which is still good.
Yeah.
And I will say, I obviously don't want to spoil anything, but I'll just say this. They fix all of my issues in game 2. Already in case 2 and 3, you go investigate, you go to court, you go investigate, you go to court. Like you go back and forth in this game again. It has just restored the classic Ace Attorney gameplay that's not in the first one at all. They knew. It's like they got feedback from the Japanese fans or something that have already played it before the second one came out that was really lacking. And they totally fixed that. The cases are ridiculously complex. Like case 2 and 3 are the most complex that case 2 and 3 have ever been in this series. Like, my sister's also a huge Ace Attorney fan, and we both agree it's the best case 2 ever out of all 10 games in the series, and it's the best case 3 ever out of all 10 games in the series. That's ridiculous. And I don't even know how good case 4 and 5 are yet, but if they're this level of quality, this is going to be like in my top 5 favorite games of all time if it maintains this quality. Like, I'm so freaking happy with this game. It's ridiculous how good it is. I'm not even overstating how much I like it. It is like all I'm thinking about right now because it is so good. I wish I was playing right now. I just think about it all the time.
Was it very relieving to have that after waiting so long and being a little let down by the first one?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I really liked the first one still, even though I've been very critical of it. I'm critical of it in the attorney, and so just getting to that second one and just being blown away by it is just, I haven't felt this way with this series in a very long time because just it's become more predictable as it's gone on. But this one is just like, it's like this game was made for Ace Attorney. So like, okay, you want something complex and the hardest, it's hard too. Like some of the solutions you have to find are way harder to find. And it's like, this game is testing me like the series has not since I was first playing them and didn't know totally how they worked yet. So it is like a love letter to Ace Attorney fans. Unbelievable, huge relief, game of the year. Great Ace Attorney 2 specifically is my game of the year. It's so good, and all the characters are great, and the relationships are complex, and that is something that's cool. Is that I'm kind of thinking this kind of is like a 10 case game. Like this story from case 1 of the one Kevin is playing all the way through the one I'm playing. It is a lot of the threads are consistent. And every other Ace Attorney game is pretty self-contained for the most part. So that's really cool. Something the series hasn't done before. And yeah, it's just awesome to see what they did with this game. And I'm so happy that we got it over here. It's phenomenal. And I'm for sure going to have it beat by next week. And I'll have final thoughts. And I hope I'm as jazzed about it. I hope that the 5th case sticks the landing. Because, yeah, it's been a ride so far. And, yeah, it's so great.
All right. Do we want to get into our Ode 2 this week? Our Ode 2
Yes.
Me.
is Zach this week. Because
Ode to Zach.
Because he's a madman. I know that it's been
Absolute
2
mad
weeks. I know that it's been 2 weeks since we did a show. But the amount of games this dude has played and the amount of series, he's just like plowed through like basically 2 sets of series here, it seems. Zach, you want to talk about what you've been up to the last 2 weeks since we all last talked?
Okay. So, like you said, I have mainly focused on getting through 2 series this week. Last 2 weeks, sorry. And if you listened to 2 weeks ago, you know I had started my journey with my friend through the Halo franchise. So we have certainly made headway in that. But I think I'll start with the Ace Attorney trilogy, which Logan forced me to buy shortly after the last show.
It was on sale again?
Literally. It was on sale on Xbox. I saw it on sale. I bought it on Xbox for $20.
Okay. You are an Xbox gamer.
That is where so every game I beat was on a Series S, so I'm definitely getting my money's worth out of this game.
I just want to say real quick, from that Capcom, the huge Capcom leak that happened, sales numbers for the Ace Attorney trilogy leaked, and it's like hundreds of thousands on Switch, like 80,000 on PC, 40,000 on PS4, 8,000 on Xbox.
I'm
As
one
we
of
all
them.
expected.
Yeah, Zach's one of the few.
An
Yes, all
exclusive
right.
club.
So after a lot of badgering, I finally picked up Logan's favorite series of all time. Kevin's even played the trilogy. Now everyone's playing Great Ace Attorney right now, so it's Ace Attorney fever in the air. I had to pick it up, had to start it. I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. I love everything about it. Logan was right all along. I should have been playing this a long time ago. That's
Trying to tell
absolutely
you.
what he wants to hear. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I knew I'd love it. I knew I'd love it the whole time. Still didn't play it. Didn't even care.
Wow, Zach.
So
He's doing it out of spite.
exactly. So I've beaten the first game, and I've almost beaten the second game out of the trilogy. So that's 8 cases complete total, and in one case I'm partway through for the final case of game 2. So I have some pretty deep impressions of the first couple games. So for the first game as a whole, it's fantastic. The first 4 cases were what the game originally was, which you can tell pretty easily that the fifth case was added on later when they ported it over to DS, because it's got a lot of stuff that the Game Boy Advance couldn't handle, like the video evidence and the being able to like rotate evidence. Like you could tell that was added on just to like showcase what the DS was capable of. So that was a little jarring, going from 4 standard 2D cases to a showcase of DS technology. But I absolutely love the 5th case. I think so. The cases got progressively better in the first game. I think I really like the 4th case, but I think I like the 5th case a little bit better. The 5th case was so long. It was took me like 8 hours or so just to get through one case. This was a pretty long game overall. I was surprised with the length. I didn't think it would take as long as it did, but like Logan said, the balance of going from trial to investigation to trial to investigation, it really keeps you engaged, and it doesn't get dry since you're bouncing back and forth. Once you get tired of one thing, you're just on to the next thing, and then the case is solved. And I'm kind of stupid, so all these twists and turns are really shock and awing me, so I'm having a really good time. And then when I do figure something out and I have to wait like an extra hour for them to slowly catch up, that is a bit daunting, but overall I'm really loving these cases, and I think the first game as a whole was absolutely fantastic. The second game, I could already tell it started off a little weaker. The first case, I thought the concept was funny on how they had to reintroduce the gameplay for the second game, but the case was pretty weak overall.
Yeah, they give
after
Phoenix
that
amnesia, so he can't remember how to be a lawyer, and it's ridiculous.
someone hits him with a fire extinguisher, and he gets amnesia for the case, and they just drop you in the middle of a case, so you don't even really get a lot of backstory. It's hardly even considerable to be like a case in the franchise, but it counts. It's there. And then the couple cases after that, 2 I thought was pretty good. It focuses on one of the main side characters, Maya Fey. She gets a lot of focus time in these games. And then 3 is apparently widely hated, but I didn't hate it because I like the circus aesthetic. It's a circus aesthetic one, which I get why that would be off-putting for some people. The music was off-putting a lot of the time, so I would get that, but I thought that one had some pretty good twists in it, although there were some weird conveniences, but I didn't hate it. So overall, I'm enjoying the second game as well as the first one. I know Logan said that the 4th case in the second game is one of the best cases in all of Ace Attorney, so currently working my way through that one. It's also pretty long, but it is the final case. They didn't add a 5th case to the second game. Yeah, this franchise so far, absolutely loving it. Thank you, Logan. I appreciate you pointing me in the right direction.
On Xbox,
the Phoenix right direction. on Xbox, no less.
Nice pun.
I will play as many of them on Xbox as I possibly can until
Those
I
are
no
the
longer
only ones
can.
you can play on
Those are the
Xbox.
only-
Literally.
I'll have to wait for the second trilogy to come out on Xbox before I can play that.
You think they are based on those sales numbers? Because I sure don't.
Yeah, they're probably just gonna do PlayStation and.
You never know.
Kevin, which was your favorite
know.
of the trilogy when you played it back in the day?
Oh God, it's been a little
You
while
can even
now.
differentiate.
I have to go back through.
They do
and,
blend a bit.
and confirm which cases were which on the game. Yeah, I'd have to get back to you on that. Been a little
I think
bit.
1 was fantastic. Do you prefer 3 over 1, Logan?
I
don't know
think
anything about
1
3.
is. I think 1 is better. I think 1 is like the tightest game in the series, but I like 3 more. I like the characters in 3 and the story of 3 a lot. 2, when I said that the Great Ace Attorney 1 might only be better than 1 game in the series, it's the one that Zach's playing right now.
Yeah,
Phoenix Wright 2
I
is
knew
not
that.
very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a feeling I'd say 3 was my favorite, but I'd have to look back through and confirm which cases are what, because it has been a
3
little
is
while.
great. Dude,
But
I'm
this
happy right
franchise-
now. Like we every year when the new Yakuza comes out, I sit 20 minutes a week as you and Zach just talk about it, and I'm feasting over here. Everyone's playing Ace Attorney, and it's glorious.
Absolutely. I mean, just a few highlights of this franchise. The dialogue is fantastic, especially Phoenix Wright's inner monologue in court when everything's in parentheses when he's thinking to himself. That's some of the funniest lines he got there. The music's great. It knows when to be silent for dialogue, and it knows when to pick the music up, so I think that's handled really well. And then the characters are fantastic, not only in the designs and the sprite animations. I love the sprite animations, especially when you catch someone in a lie or you're putting pressure on them and they're the guilty party. Those are some of the funnest sprite animations, where they just get very angry or very scared. I think those are fantastic. I always look forward to seeing those. So lots of good in these games. Excited to play more of them. Excited to finish off the best case in the franchise and move on to Game 3 and then to Apollo Justice after that. And eventually Ace Attorney. I don't know. There's a weird order that I'll be playing these in.
Yeah. There's a lot of games.
Yeah, there are a lot of games, but I'm sure I'll get through them eventually. Kevin's got to play Apollo Justice next. Come on, Kevin. What are you doing?
We get around to it.
Yeah, I get it. It's not you have to whip out your DS to play it.
Yeah, whipping out the 3DS is a little tougher than
Never
you'd
a good
think.
time. Yeah.
At least for me.
All right, and then that's the series that's been occupying my personal time. But like I talked about last show, my friend and I undertook the task of beating the Halo franchise, which we continued on with. These games are not very long at all. I thought they'd be longer. Each level takes about 20 to 30 minutes, and there's no more than 12 levels per game. So at max, it's 6 hours if you don't speed run it, which we kind of do. Because there's achievements for like par time if you get under like 20 minutes in a level, and you get like a special achievement. So
Are you an
I like to
achievement
run
hunter
through these
now?
levels. I'm an achievement hunter. No, I don't.
Gosh.
Even that little ting, it does nothing for me. It's no trophy, but maybe one day I'll be an achievement hunter. We'll see. But yeah, so we blazed through. Last show we had just started Halo 2. Then we beat Halo 2. And then we beat Halo 3, and then we beat Halo 3 ODST, and then we beat Halo 4.
Oh my.
Are you gonna play Halo 5?
With me?
Yes, I'm
Oh,
playing it with Logan. So I'm
God.
playing Halo Reach, and I'm playing Halo 5 with Logan because my friend already played Reach with his other friend, which is why he was in a Halo mood. And then Halo 5 doesn't have local co-op; it only has online co-op. I'll just play that one with Logan as well. So there's
I've
two
never
games.
finished it.
Oh my god.
So those are the 2 games that are currently on hold right now until Logan and I have some free gaming time. We're gonna start with Reach, and then eventually we'll play 5.
What a
Hopefully
capper.
by the time.
Halo
Yeah,
5.
5, right?
Yeah.
Fading into Halo Infinite, but hopefully Halo Infinite comes out after all of this, or I will have wasted a lot of my time playing all these Halos.
I think it'll come
so
out.
I could be caught
I
up.
feel like it'll come out
Would think.
at some point.
You
It
would
was
think.
supposed to be the year of Mario and the cast.
Oh,
Based
yeah,
on
Mario
the
and
sheet,
Castlevania. What?
It is the
Oh.
year of Ace Attorney and the year of Halo for Zach over here.
it's loosely the year of a lot of things. So we're gonna.
That's true.
If I beat at least 2 games in a franchise, we're gonna call it the year of.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Wow. All right.
It's gonna be
The
a year
level-
of many things.
Level has dropped requirements for year of are now much lower. But I still want to beat Sunshine by the end of the year. So maybe I should just bump it up to 3 games in a franchise, and then we can call it the year of there.
Zach just moving the goalposts around so it all works out.
I'm trying to like not cheat it, but I'm also trying to not like kill myself on all these Mario games. I don't know. I have a big mouth. I really talked myself into a
Bro,
corner.
you played
so.
you basically played 7 games in 2 weeks. You can
These
play
Halo
the Mario
games are
games.
I can't express how fast we beat a lot of
Mario
these
games aren't particularly
Halo
long.
games.
Yeah.
They aren't.
You can
but
do
I do
it,
have to
Zach.
play
I
them by
believe in you.
myself. Yeah, that's true.
I believe in you.
So for the Halo games, I enjoyed all of them. Much like the Ace Attorneys, I think they're all pretty solid games so far. I know 5 probably isn't, but even 4 I enjoyed, which was the only one I've played by 343. Yeah, their introduction into the franchise was Halo 4, I believe, and they actually did a pretty good job. It looks great. It does feel a little different, but of course it's going to, since new company picking up the franchise. Of course, it's not going to feel exactly the same, but the level design and the story was okay. For the most part, the
It's
trilogy
all about
saga.
Cortana, always.
Yeah,
Only
I know
ever.
they
we get
really
Locke.
focus on Cortana,
And then
four.
it's Locke.
So let me go back. So 2 trilogy. I'm playing the Master Chief Collection on Series S, and it's a little weird because they up-res the crap out of it. They retexture everything. They make it look real good for the first couple games, and then for the second game, they give it Halo 5 level cutscenes. So you have
Stop saying
up-res.
Halo 5. Halo 5. I don't want to play
Sorry.
it.
I'm sorry. I'm
And
sorry.
you decided to play with Zach. What a
I
decision.
will.
Yep. All right.
I will.
So, but then you go to Halo 3 immediately after, and it kind of looks bad comparatively because they thought that the Xbox 360 graphics didn't require up-resing or
Yeah.
invented cutscenes. So we go from like these really nice looking Halo 2 graphics and cutscenes to actually a much worse looking Halo 3.
To like
which is,
launch day Xbox 360.
yeah.
Halo
So
3.
it's actually kind of jarring because it doesn't look very good.
Kind of like if you played the older Yakuza games and then you come to the trilogy and it's like, whoa,
Yep.
what happened?
It's
Yeah.
a little weird, but it was fine. The weirdest part was that it didn't have widescreen, so you're just playing it in like a square
Ooh.
box.
Man, they didn't
But the
I guess
first
that's
2 had
true, like-
widescreen. Yeah.
The original 360
that.
didn't have HDMI, right? Or like,
I don't know. I don't probably.
I'm pretty sure
don't.
you had to get like a dongle where
Yeah.
it would go
Yeah, I
like
think
the
so.
RGBs
It
to
was-
HDMI.
It was really weird. It felt
Something
like
that.
a weirdly significant downgrade to playing Halo 2, but still a
Yeah.
good game overall. Really fun level design. A good culmination for the story. I thought the story had some pretty
Yeah,
epic
that's
moments.
cool.
These
Had
games always
Forge
culminate
too. First game of Forge.
quickly.
Oh.
My friend told me to try out the Forged levels for ODST because he said they were super fun. I've never tried those out, so I don't even really know what they are, but I'll have to check them out.
They're fun.
Yeah. So these games are epic. The first couple was riding that nostalgia for a little while because I did play them a little bit as kids. I remembered the points in the first Halo where I had stopped playing and then it was all new from there. And then in Halo 2, I didn't get very far at all. I didn't remember most of that game. So apparently I didn't get very far, which is understandable. I was a child. But yeah, Halo 2, I think,
All
is
you could
currently
beat
my
was
favorite.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Very
goes to
true.
show that Pokemon was a pretty easy game back then.
Yeah.
Could beat that.
I think, yeah, currently right now where my rankings stand, I've got Halo 2 at the top, Halo 3 after that, and first one, then then ODST. I don't know if I put 4 over ODST. I might have. I wasn't a huge fan of ODST. It wasn't a super long game, so it didn't drag. And one of the main characters was voiced by Nathan Fillion, which I thought was weird. I've never seen him in a game before. That's the guy who like everyone thinks of as Nathan Drake, like the actor
made
for
that
Nathan
fan-
Drake, who was
fan
in the
movie.
fan film. Yeah.
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 So it was just like watching Nathan Drake in like an ODST outfit, looking like a Spartan. It was kind of cool,
Forgot
but
about that.
in that game you play as like 8 different people, and I cared about like one of them, so I don't really.
ODST.
It wasn't.
remember
It
people-
wasn't fantastic.
I don't remember people talking
It did-
about it too much. It was Halo 3 and Halo Reach. ODST was kind of the...
Yeah.
DST had one feature
Black
that
sheep
no other
there.
Halo game has that I actually really appreciated, and that's if you hit the D-pad, it would show you your checkpoint, so you always knew which direction to go. But it did have interspersed levels where it had like one small item hidden somewhere in an area, and you had to find it, which was extra annoying.
Yeah, it was annoying.
One of the
Triggers
items
with
was
memory
hanging
or
from like a
whatever.
telephone wire, so you had to look up to find it, which I luckily did, but
Yeah.
I could see how a couple levels we got dreadfully lost. It was horrible.
Metroid Dread
Oh, that-
lost.
And so, overall, really like the franchise so far. Not excited to play Halo 5. Am excited to play Reach. I've heard good things
I
about
am very
Reach.
excited to hear you guys talk about Halo 5 and
I
not
was
have
gonna
to
say,
play
I
it.
have-
you've got the best and the worst Halo left, so look forward to that.
Yeah.
Get excited.
Good.
I don't
Just
know if I'll
Kevin.
like Reach
Kevin's
more than I
playing
like
the
2.
worst and the best Ace Attorney. It's the same.
Yeah, but I'm doing it in the other order. So I ended on the high note instead of here where you're like, Halo Reach. Oh, God.
Yep.
Halo 5.
Yeah. Oh my God,
What?
Sonic Minecraft. We played it.
Oh, we
played it
did. Oh,
together.
my God.
Forgot we
Kevin,
played that. We played that
we've been
immediately
going-
after last show.
We've been going for
Kevin,
so
talk about it.
It's brutal. It is
It is horrible.
absolutely
Awful.
brutal. Like, I love it because it's Sonic, and they do have a lot of like fan service in there. It's pretty impressive that they've remade like levels and things from the original Sonic games. But my God, is it brutal? Like,
Yeah.
because you have to get enough rings to go through each of these sections, and if you have enough at the end, then you can unlock the next one. But if you die, you lose a lot of the rings, and then if you die too many times, it wipes it clean. Also, I'm pretty sure you spend the rings on the new one, right? Like, you lose them.
Yeah, you
You
spend
lose.
the rings
So
to
you have
unlock
to
the
go
level.
and get the next one. It is a grind. The
We
movement
gotta finish it.
is weird. Like, because you go from like going super slow to like blasting through real quick. And I don't know about you guys, but like I could not tell where the momentum was going to take me on some of these jumps from like I could die right now and lose all my rings.
And if you are walking and not running, you have zero momentum and you,
You just
can't
die.
jump over anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like we all took turns being the one person who was good at the level. It's like one of us makes it to the end and like, all right, guys, we have 100 rings. And the other two guys just absolutely get railed
die.
and lose everything.
I also felt like
It
the hit
was
detection on
terrible.
enemies was really weird. Like jumping over
Yeah.
them, like sometimes I kill them and sometimes they hit me. And a lot of times I didn't even realize I was hit. Like I rolled along and I'm like, where did I lose all those rings? And it's like, oh, maybe I was hit by that guy.
We're
Also,
never going to afford any of the other characters.
yeah, the characters get. It's enough for us to just try to get to the next levels. Like that's already a challenge.
And Shadow's like 200 rings.
It's a
You
mess.
buy them, you can't afford to go to the
Um,
next level. Then what do? You just have
also-
to replay the levels again.
we got
Yeah.
to Chemical Plant, and I get lost in there because everything looks exactly the same. Like I get to a point and I'm like, man, I've seen this before. And then you guys finish and I'm still just like running around in circles, like in the level, because I have no idea where I am.
So tired of them putting Green Hill and Chemical Plant in
That's the
every
nostalgia,
Sonic
right?
game. It's in Generations, Mania, Forces, Minecraft. Oh my God, there's other levels, please. I'm so tired of it.
Yeah. So it is a mess, but I kind of like it for that because it
Oh,
makes
me
me
too.
feel
It's
at
Sonic.
home in the Sonic bogus. Because man, we have played
it
so many
made
of
me
these games where
nostalgic.
it just like beats us down into the ground, and then just to have Minecraft Sonic do the exact same thing. It's kind of heartwarming in a really weird, awful
Messed up
way.
Yeah, let's give a shout out to the Minecraft developers for really capturing the essence of 3D Sonic.
Got everything
Horrible
right.
controls, horrible jumping, and a ridiculous grind to progress. You got it. You got everything that makes Sonic great.
It's like Stockholm
Love it.
syndrome. Like,
Yep.
it's my captor, and I love it. It also helps that we're all playing it at the same time. That's one thing we didn't really get out of any of the other Sonic games, unless we
yeah.
played some of the weird party modes.
Or the racing game.
Or the racing game. But yeah, being
Which is
able to
good.
like
I'll stand by
play
that forever.
this all together and just seeing our ring counter go down and be like, who died? Who fell down the hole again? And then someone's like, it was me. Like,
Yeah. I'm excited to play more.
there was
with
one
you guys.
moment where like there's like the bounce pad that takes you to the next area, and Sonic just ran through it. He ran through the bounce pad and ran to his death, and I was like, that's cool. There goes all my rings. Like, that's Sonic. That's what it is. It's just those moments where you're like, what happened? It's
Look
great.
forward to Sonic Rangers coming next year. I can't wait
God.
for Sonic Club to reconvene for that.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to go back and somehow stumble our way through all the levels in Sonic Minecraft. We'll get to it eventually, but we did play it. It is a mess, and we love it for it.
On that note, we probably got to go. Huh?
Yeah, we've been going a little long. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. I completely forgot because that felt like
Yeah, it just
forever
popped into
ago.
my head. Yeah.
Doing Sonic. Yeah, that'll do it for us on this week's episode of Ode to Games. We're here on Thursdays or Fridays, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, other podcast streaming services that you may use. Our website as well, odetogames.com, has the audio version of the podcast. Video version's up on YouTube at Ode to Games, so you can check out the video version of the podcast there. We're on Twitter, Ode to Games, Twitch, Ode to Games as well. You can send an email to odegamescast@gmail.com. For Logan and Zach, I'm Kevin. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week.